What's up, guys? So today I'm going to be covering 18 common digestive anxiety symptoms. I struggled with a lot of these. A lot of you are struggling with these. I want to cover those. I'm going to share with you how anxiety is causing some of them, and I'm going to share some tips at the end, so you want to watch this whole thing. But do me a huge favor. If you have dealt with digestive anxiety symptoms, hit the like button so we can get this video out to more people so they know that they aren't alone. And down below in the comment section, give me your top 5 digestive anxiety symptoms that you struggle with. If you're new here, subscribe. Tons of videos like this to help you with your anxiety. And understand, guys, this video is not a diagnosis video, all right? Anxiety can cause these symptoms, but it's your responsibility to go get checked out by a doctor initially. And if you have anxiety, you need to go get checked out by a mental health professional. So what's driving these anxiety digestive symptoms, all right? First of all, digestion is not a high priority whenever you are super anxious. It's either going to be sped up significantly or it's going to be slowed down significantly. So that can cause a lot of different symptoms, all right? Tension can cause symptoms. Excessive gas production when you're anxious. Excessive acid production whenever you're anxious. An imbalance of good and bad bacteria. This is your microbiome down here. It's your second brain. 90% of your serotonin is produced in the gut, so it can throw things off. The first symptom, guys, is indigestion. Now, you can deal with this without having anxiety, but anxiety is just going to make the frequency of this happening go up, all right? So it's going to be a lot of discomfort, pressure, maybe some pain right here in your midsection, upper abdomen, lower chest area. It can be accompanied with heartburn, which happened to me all the time. Usually it's going to be brought on by a heavy or even a moderate meal. Again, I was more sensitive to what I was eating now that I had anxiety than what I was before. So that's why my rate of indigestion went up. Also, I would deal with higher blood pressure, faster heart rate. Sometimes I would sweat whenever I was dealing with indigestion. So this is an example, again, of the digestive system actually slowing down when you're anxious. The next two symptoms, guys, are acid reflux, otherwise known as heartburn, and GERD, all right? So for me, it mainly started with acid reflux and heartburn, but it started happening a lot more often. It got a lot more severe, and then I was diagnosed with GERD, which is just a severe version, a higher frequency of acid reflux. So again, like I said earlier, we produce more acid whenever we're anxious. That acid is gotta go somewhere, right? And when we have a lot of tension, it can force it upward. And again, it can be in combination with indigestion, and that makes it really uncomfortable. But I would deal with this all throughout the day. I would have burning sensations right here in the middle of my chest area, upper abdomen. I would confuse it with heart problems. Again, I would have other symptoms associated with this: fast heart rate, high blood pressure. I would sweat as well whenever I would deal with this symptom. Sweating happened a lot with me, apparently. But at night, it was a whole different story. I would lay down and it would creep up into my throat, and it felt like lava was coming out, so it would lead to me waking up choking, gagging, sometimes throwing up because of the acid. And guys, the longer that you deal with this acid coming up in your throat, it can lead to dry throat and sore throat. So I would deal with that as well. So understand, if you're dealing with acid reflux, it is common with anxiety. The next 3 symptoms, guys, are associated with gas. The first one was trapped gas, and I dealt with this for the first few hours after waking up every single day for years. I guess me going to sleep and whatever I had the night before was not a good combination, because I'd wake up with some severe issues right here in my midsection, upper abdomen, lower chest areas where the gas would bubble up, and it would take me 3-4 hours for it to work itself out. So it can cause a lot of pain, a lot of cramping, bloating, pressure, just an uncomfortable situation, which leads me to excessive burping. Sure, everybody burps, everybody belches, but when you have anxiety, you have a lot more gas. You can do this more frequently. And if it's not going up, guys, it can come down, all right? So extra flatulence is another side effect of having extra gas. I mentioned earlier that the digestion can be sped up whenever you are anxious. Think about it like this. Have you ever heard the saying, oh, you scared the you-know-what out of me? Okay, well, diarrhea is a perfect example of that. So I would deal with this, especially when I was super anxious. Now, there's nothing worse than having a panic attack, thinking that you're having a heart attack, and you're on the toilet having diarrhea at the same time. So that's how a lot of my mornings went. But then on the flip side, anxiety can actually slow down your digestion, put a hold on it, and that can lead to constipation. Sometimes lack of hydration and some tension associated with anxiety can lead to that constipation as well. So it sucks to either be constipated or dealing with diarrhea, not much in between, but that kind of explains my life for a few years. Stomach cramps are another thing that you can deal with. I dealt with these a lot, very uncomfortable. Primarily for me, it was because of the gas, so I would deal with cramping for the first few hours of my day. It would move around, so the pain would move around as well. And with cramping, usually it's more broad. It's not like super localized, which I'll get to that in a second, but also the constipation, the lack of blood flow, the tension, the diarrhea, the gas, things like that can attribute to a lot of this cramping. But that brings me to localized pain. Quick disclaimer, if you have localized pain and it persists for a few days or longer, just go get some reassurance from a doctor. Don't be stupid like me and wait months and worry and Google and convince yourself that you have colon cancer like I did. And eventually, after a few months of having this localized pain, it's probably about like this in my lower right abdomen, I finally mustered up the courage to find out if this is going to be something by scheduling an ultrasound. Guess what? 3 hours later, pain disappeared. Still have never experienced pain in that area to this day. All right, pretty miraculous. But honestly, it's because I was putting a lot of negative energy and focus. And this is whenever I realized the true power of our mind. Like, I can literally focus tension and pain in an area like this size on my body. The next one, guys, is frequent urination. All right, this isn't digestion, but it just seemed fitting and right to throw this in with the digestive symptoms, since we talked about constipation and diarrhea, bathroom issues. Just like with the diarrhea, your body's trying to get rid of waste or urine in order for you to flee or run away or to fight. So your body feels like, if I get rid of this urine, I'll be able to do that better. So that's why you feel like you have to pee a lot. I had foreshadowing of this a lot before I had my anxiety disorder. If I ever had something that was important coming up, or if I had this interview that was about to happen, or if I had a performance, I would feel the need to pee come on pretty quickly and strongly in those situations. But it was really, really annoying. So if you deal with this, you're not alone. Pretty much during my 5 years of anxiety, anytime I got to a place, whether it be a store or house or family member or wherever traveling, I had to pee right whenever I got there. It didn't matter if I'd peed 30 minutes before, I have to pee again. So the next two are appetite changes, all right? I think most people fall into this first one, and that is loss of appetite, all right? You don't feel that hungry. At least you don't feel as hungry as you did before you developed the anxiety. Lots of different reasons for this, just being in a down mood, grieving, the sadness, maybe the depression associated with it. Also, you find that maybe when you do eat, it upsets your stomach. Also, a lot of you deal with nausea, so that can lead to a lack of appetite as well. So if you lack appetite and you're not eating a lot, guess what that leads to? Weight loss. I'm not gonna have that as a symptom, digestive symptom, but it definitely can lead to that. So there's people losing, anywhere from like 10 to 50 plus pounds because they have a lot of anxiety. Understand that that's normal. Just make sure if you are losing a lot of weight, just talk to your doctor. And then on the flip side is something that I dealt with, and it was binge eating. Always having this hunger because I felt like it gave me some satisfaction or comfort from my anxiety. It made me feel like I was in a different world if I was consuming a lot of food. It's hard to explain, but I was that guy at 2 or 3 in the morning after dealing with a lot of symptoms, crushing down some deli meat or cheeses, guzzling down some soda. And the weird thing is that it made me feel good in the moment, but after, I'd pay the consequences and deal with a lot of other issues, whether it be diarrhea, or it would definitely lead to constipation and gas and stuff like that. So it was a double-edged sword. I felt comfort whenever I was binge eating, and then I would feel horrible, after with the consequences. So some people gain a lot of weight whenever they deal with anxiety or depression. Next one, guys, is a pretty light one, but it's butterflies, all right? And a lot of people that don't even have anxiety disorder deal with the butterfly sensation. It's just kind of this light, bouncy, churning type feeling in your stomach whenever you have something coming up, or an interview or a presentation, or you got to talk. So a lot of people that don't even have anxiety disorder will probably describe their anxiety as like having butterflies in the stomach. It can accompany other symptoms. For me, whenever I dealt with this, I'd start to sweat and I'd have to pee a lot. So those would kind of be grouped together. When you take it to the next level, we get to the next symptom, and that's nausea from the stress response, either the hormones going through your body, your stomach churning, the lack of blood flow, the gas can lead to that as well. Some people deal with like nausea 24/7. I definitely had my days where I would have it all day. And then obviously if nausea gets the best of you, it can lead to vomiting or throwing up or dry heaving. Sometimes this can be just caused by your food not wanting to accept the food that you have in your stomach, you being sensitive to the things that you eat more so now that you have anxiety than you were before. or it can just be from the stress response, the hormones, the panic, the churning of your stomach, the gas. All of that can make you feel so sick to your stomach that yes, you can vomit. So next one, guys, is ulcers, all right, in our digestive tract, lower esophagus, the stomach, the upper intestine. You're gonna find mixed articles, mixed opinions from doctors and scientists, whether or not anxiety, stress, prolonged can lead to ulcers. Some will swear by it, some will say it's not really a thing, it's a myth. I guess it's whatever you believe, but I felt like it was valuable to actually include this on the list because some of you deal with that. I've talked to people that swore by it when they had anxiety, they had ulcers. Me, I ironically had them whenever I got over my anxiety. So mine weren't anxiety induced, but I always had issues with heartburn. So maybe that was it, which kind of leads me to the next thing. Heartburn, acid reflux, the excessive amount of acid that your body is producing is a culprit for a lot of these. So if you think about it, if it's not just the anxiety and stress itself, it could be the acid that your anxiety and stress is producing leading to these ulcers. Next one, guys, is an odd one, but lighter colored stools. Okay, quick disclaimer. I'm not trying to play doctor here, but I have had this happen to me whenever I was dealing with anxiety, and I've talked to a lot of people that have dealt with this as well. I usually get a comment every couple days asking me about this. And there's tons of articles that you can look up yourself online that suggest that when you have anxiety, it can lead to lighter colored stools at times because of the changes that, again, happen in your digestive system, the lack of blood flow, slowing your digestion down, leading to the color changes in your stool. But again, if you have concerns, if this is consistent, if it's always happening, there's nothing wrong with getting some initial reassurance from a doctor. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much. I want you to go down below in the comment section and in all caps, I want you to put, "I will beat this. I will beat this." So now for the tips, guys. Obviously, I'm gonna start off with this one because it's the most important. You gotta manage your anxiety better, okay? That's the motor that's causing the symptoms right here. Working it from the outside in only helps for a little bit, okay? So you gotta work on your root causes, get your strategy together, get your toolbox full, get a routine, develop that mindset, change your response like I talk about in my videos to your symptoms. It's all about the response. Eventually, these symptoms will start to go away. You got to show your subconscious that you're not in danger. That takes time and consistency. So you need to get my course, Elite Anxiety Bootcamp, that will show you how to do all of that step by step down below in the description and in the first spin comment, okay? Some other things that you can be doing, guys, changing up your diet. More plant-based, plenty of vegetables. Include some fruits for fiber to help out with the digestive system. You need to get some lean meats in there, all right? Things that are easy to process. Fish is one of those. Daily vitamin to get the nutrients that you're not getting from your diet. You need to cut down on the processed food. You need to cut down on the sugary and sweets, all right? Sugary and sweets, the sugars and sweets, okay? Hydrate. This is something that many of you neglect, hydration. 80% of you are dehydrated right now. That's gonna help you with your digestive system, the movement there, and the constipation issues if you're dealing with that. Probiotics that can help establish that good balance of good and bad bacteria, all right? So look into probiotics. Daily exercise is another thing. If you do 20, 30 minutes of that in the morning, it's gonna get your heart rate up. It's gonna get the blood flow going again in your digestive system. So hopefully that can stimulate possibly a bowel movement or getting things moving, getting digestion going. You combine that with hydration, it can be very beneficial. You can look into fiber supplements. I mean, you might want to talk to your doctor about that, but you can just go to the store and grab them off the shelf. You can experiment with that. Remember, it really does come down to mindset. You got to shut off the motor. If you don't shut off the motor, you're going to be fighting this from the outside in. So if you're interested in recovery, you're ready to get past these symptoms, do yourself a favor, go grab my course, Elite Anxiety Bootcamp. Again, description and in first spin comment. There's online therapy, my coaching info's down there, my socials. I want you to like this video if you got some value today, please, all right? And subscribe if you're new, be a part of the family. And if you're subscribed today, hit the bell, okay? I'm uploading every freaking day. Turn on your notifications, okay? It helps me out a lot. And I'm gonna put a video right here that I want you guys to watch. But until next time, guys, keep fighting. I love you all.